Rodnicks are humming in the dead of the night. Electric bills climbing, ain't feeling right. Hash rates dropping, profits thin as air. I'm digging for gold, but there's none down there. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't choose. But there's a spark in the AI glow. Rent my computer, let the profits grow. Once I was king with my GPUs. Now I'm stuck paying the power dues. Every coin I mine feels heavier than lead, but I hear whispers of a future ahead. I got the crypto mining blues, feeling like I just can't lose. Switch my power to the AI flow, turn this burden into a glow. I see the light, it's flickering on. AI's calling my machines to respond. No more digging in the blockchain dirt. This pivot might just heal the hurt. I got the crypto mining blues, but I'm stepping in brand new shoes. The AI train's on a steady roll, gonna wreck compute and regain control.
I was digging deep in the digital ground, hoping for treasure, but nothing was found. The rigs were buzzing, the heat was real. Electric bills biting like a thief who steals. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. I stacked up GPUs, thought I'd strike it rich, but the market's a beast with a wicked glitch. Hash rates climbing, rewards falling flat. Chasing that coin, I'm chasing a cat. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my day. AI knocking, it's a brand new game, whispering sweet that it knows my name. Ran out the power, let it learn and dream. A smarter hustle, a brand new scheme. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, no more feudal race, just AI visions lighting up the space. Crypto mining blues got me feeling low. The profits are gone, where did they go? But there's a light shining through the haze. Renting compute might just save my days. Now my GPUs hum a different tune, training models under the cyber moon. No more digging, the space.
What is happening, guys? Good to see you. Happy Saturday night. Actually, I'm actually not muted for a change. It's going to be a great show. Anyway, let's see who is here. Give it a little bit of chance of getting people to be here, but we got 20 GPU rig. Haven't seen you before. Welcome. The one, the only RPM is here. Good to see you, sir. Mike Hill, Crypto MB, Frogman, DJ, Snidost SO. Not sure I'm saying that right. Not sure if there's a specific way to say it, but welcome. So good to see you guys. Yeah, quite the change. I should actually have Discord up. I was going to bring up the Salad Discord. Because, by the way, it isn't just Salad that has taken off as far as demand. I am almost fully rented on Vast. And on Salad, the 3000 series cards, unless you have a 3090, not doing so hot. So I will bring up a few things here. Let me see here first. All right, well, let me first go through it. If you guys have any comments in the chat at this point. Oh, good. I'm glad I said it correct. Mine's some 10. Good to see you. Katana. Long time no see. How's that Caspa miner doing? Hopefully you found some place to mine that with little to no power cost. That would be good. Speaking actually of Caspa, before I get into the main subjects of tonight, I actually did, when I saw the market come down again, I just put in a little. I was like, a little is better than nothing. So if you're nervous, just put a little in. Like, if you lose it, so what? So I put in a little, bought a little bit of Caspa at 4.9 cents. I was like, under 5 cents. This is a freaking steal, I think. Last time I checked, it was above 5, although I haven't looked in a while today. But I was getting nervous buying on a Friday or a Thursday, knowing that the weekend's coming and a lot of people think about getting out of the market. So I bought a little bit of that, and I did buy some Bitcoin at 105. Actually, specifically 105.100. But I've kind of gotten away from setting up my buys. I've gotten lazy. Need to determine where are the points that if it gets that low, I'm gonna buy, so that if we have another downturn like we did the last time, I don't think we're ever gonna see the same type of downturn like that again. I think that is I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but certainly I think like once in a decade type of downturn. But at the same time, you know, having a spike down of 30 to 40%, I think we'll still get those. So it's always good to have that. That is, as I forget who had said. I think it was. I don't remember who it was. There was somebody else watching that basically said, "Put in your coffee orders." In other words, put in $5 of a $5 order for whatever crypto at just a stupid low price. And if it never hits, it never hits. It's $5. You know, put in like $25 orders on 20 random crypto and see if any of them hit at just crazy low prices. And if they spike back up, I mean, there was one, you know, if you were able to catch, I think it was Atmos, or was it? I'm pretty sure it was Atmos. Anyway, if you're able to catch that at 1 cent, which obviously if it got down that far and then started to come back up, somebody must have bought it at 1 cent. You know, it was like a 1200% increase when it bounced back. But as I'm sure you guys can probably relate, who does that? I'm sure there are some people, the disciplined people. I'm not always disciplined, and in this particular case, I know I should be doing it, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to put that on my to-do list for tomorrow. I got a couple things I need to do. Probably after the show tonight, I will finally upgrade my Nimbus node, my Flux Nimbus node to Arcane OS. I've been getting some error messages every time it goes to benchmark, where it says it fails benchmark because it isn't a new enough release. And then it says, oh, never mind, it's okay. So obviously it's some type of warning there that they do it once and then they let you keep going. So it's their way of saying you better do this because sooner or later we're just gonna shut you off. So I need to do that. So like I said, I'll either do it tonight or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. So yeah, I got a bunch of things I need to do this weekend. Considering that Salad is saying, in fact, let me bring up Salad Discord. Let me get into, is this it? Yeah, here we go. Let me bring this up here. There we go. Okay, let me share that screen. So 2,500 container jobs, not batch, coming online. 2 customers will be deploying collectively over 2,500 jobs to a varying selection of GPUs. And they talked about 4090s, 4080s, 4080 Supers, 5090s, 5080s, 3090s, 3090 Ti's. So we're talking about all 24 gig cards. But and there was somewhere oh yeah, these jobs are expected to last 3 months. 3 months. That's a long time. And I'm pretty excited about that, because if there's a lot of demand here, it needs the supply, and it's kind of a guaranteed job versus whether or not you're going to get a job or not. Means that other platforms probably have seen an increase in demand, which they have, but also they may see a decline as people try to chase where the jobs are. People don't want to miss the opportunity. Let's put it that way. So the other thing that I think is pretty interesting is they finally are getting people to use 5090s. And if we look, let me minimize this. If we look, yeah, I just posted something on my something there. I thought I had, there it is. So 5090s, I mean, if you look at just like a month ago, we were at 1,000 verified rented 5090s. And now we're at almost double that. At one point, we were double that. So the demand has gone up a lot. And in this case, the demand, if you look at here, we're looking at 2432, and the supply has only gone up to 2680. So we're looking at almost doubling of the demand, but only about 10% additional supply has come online. So that's, to me, I think that's awesome. That tells me that something changed. And I'm wondering, because if you look at the 4090 did not change as dramatically. So basically, okay, fine. You've got, 3440 rented. If we go back here, you're like 2679. So there's certainly been some growth. I mean, you can see the demand has gone up, but the percentage demand on the 5090s has gone up a lot, and there's still plenty of 4090s available. So what changed? Why are people now using 5090s when they weren't using them before? So that tells me that people are starting to migrate. I don't know if there was some type of update that made it easier to use the Blackwell series GPUs or what, but I can definitely tell you it's a huge difference for the 5090s, as I was having trouble getting them rented. Now they're all rented. So Yeah, it's been good. Been good. All right, let me catch up on the chat. Crypto MB, good to see you, sir. Oh, I already said hi to you. Let's see who else. Anybody else chimed in? If I didn't say hi to Mindsome10, I'm sorry. Mindsome10, good to see you. Chuck Danger is here. Good evening. Bill Clancy, hello. Swamp7, Red Panda Mining. You're missing out. 5090s make almost $20 per day. 8 by 5090 would be making $150 a day. Trust me, I'm like, what should I do it? Man, it's just so hard to pull the trigger on an over $30,000 server when I can deploy one 5090 and basically deploy it for about $1,000, give or take $200. So you're looking at somewhere around $3,500 to deploy one 5090, you know, that range. That's just a lot easier to swallow than $30,000 for 8. Because if you take the 8, 30,000, come on, where's my calculator here? Here it is. 8,000, sorry, 30,000, which is going to be more than that. But let's just look at the best case scenario. Because actually, I think somebody had said 14,000 is what it would cost to basically build out the server. So 14 plus, let's say you got a really good deal on the 5090s, 2,200 times 8 plus 14. So yeah, okay, so let's say 32,000. So 32,000, well, it makes it really easy. That's like $4,000 per GPU. So it costs more to roll it out on an 8 GPU server, but you're gonna make more per GPU when you have it on a server versus having it on single units. So it's just kind of a tough pill to swallow. Yeah. Swamp 7, 45,000 for a decent. You think so? Somebody was just pricing it out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in the Vast Discord. And he said either 14,000 or 17,000, one of the two. And he like really spec'd it out. I mean, if you're going Turin, yeah, okay. It's gonna be more. So, I don't know. DDR Fry. Oh, did it? Did it? Now you got me wondering. Let me, shoot. If I go in here, it's gonna dox me. All right. I am gonna go off screen for this. And let's do this. DDR5 RAM SODIMM, because that's what I would be getting, and 48 gigabyte. Whoa. Holy crap. Yeah, it's like $315 when it was like closer to, I think it was closer to like 220 before. Might even been below 200 at one point. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Even DDR4 ECC has almost doubled. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, well, now I'm wondering if I do build this out, how much it's going to be, because I was going to do another Minis Forum motherboard, because there's still some left on Amazon. There's none left on actual Minis Forum store, which I find weird, because it still says it's coming from Minis Forum. Whatever. So, yeah, that's like, how much was it again? Shoot, let me look at my cart. I got a bunch of stuff in my cart that I need to look at. So it's 382 plus 314. So right there, you're already looking at $700 just for the motherboard, the memory, and the CPU, which comes with it. So Man, that really makes me think. Let me make sure I'm logged out of Micro Center, and then I'll go into Micro Center, because now I'm like, man, that actually is making it seem like the Micro Center deals are kind of killer right now, for at least for single GPU deals. Yep. Let me log out, sign out. I actually did put in a pickup order for Micro Center for a 5090 today. So I can always not pick it up and then it'll just go back. But I think I'm going to pick it up. I think I'm going to build one more. All right, Micro Center. Okay, good. So let's go to bundles. AMD motherboard bundles. Like, you look at this. This actually is really looking attractive. This. I used to think this was kind of nuts. That's actually not a bad deal now. That is really not a bad deal. And it has been at this price for a long time. What's the cause of the price increases? I mean, the obvious answer, I'm not sure if it's the right answer. I'm just saying it's the obvious, logical reason is tariffs, but I don't see tariffs have changed recently. There was the threat that they were going to change, but I don't think they've changed yet. So Crypto MB, Facebook, OpenAI, Tesla have pre-ordered every DDR5 256 gig module for the next 6 to 9 months. Oh my Lord. Whoa. So Swamp 7, so you think this is a good deal now? I mean, you bought this before, I'm pretty sure, but you think it's a really good deal now? Actually really tempted on that. Cause I really don't want to do this one. Cause it doesn't come with much memory. This one doesn't come with any memory. So then you still got to add the DDR5. But the nice thing about this one is that you could add a host adapter and put 2 on this one, because it does have enough lanes for 2 GPUs. So I could put 2 5090s on this. Now, yes, you got to pay for the host adapters, which are expensive, but the Aero D motherboard can do bifurcation on 2 slots, perfect for 4x 5060 Ti rigs, FYI. Interesting. So, okay. So, but the thing is 4 5060 Ti's, do you think that's going to make more than 2 5090s? I'll be curious what your thought is there. I know, so I had done some 5060 Ti's. I've had some really, really good luck with them. They've been rented way more than the 5090s. But like I said, with this recent change, now I'm kind of like going back to the 5090s, because now all of a sudden the demand has spiked up. So I'm not sure I need to be doing 5060 Ti's. So I kind of the mindset of, and then you got to get like a rig. I mean, I don't know. I like the idea that this kind of being like a middle ground. But right now I have a 23060 rig on a T7810. I have 2 rigs of 25060 Ti's on T7810s, and they do well. And so I'm thinking about doing one more like that. I'm also thinking about taking my 4070 Ti out, because that's one of the GPUs that's doing well on Salad, and moving that somewhere else. Anyway, there's just, with all of these things changing, there's just so much going on. Birds of the Air. I'm thinking of putting some DGX Sparks on soon. So that's really interesting, because I was kind of wondering that too, but I think his name is Digital Spaceport. He was doing some tests, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, these things are great, yada, yada, yada. He was comparing it to some lesser, like he was comparing it to like 23090s. And like, watch his video. He doesn't have one, but he took results from other people and then he ran the same tests on his. And it really was somewhat unimpressive for a $4,000 piece. I mean, it was supposed to be $3,000. They're all listed for 4K now. So yeah, I'm definitely not going down that road right now. Definitely not at this point. But interesting. About the same. Two 5090s make a little more. 5060 Ti's on PCI 5 make 16 cents per hour. Yeah, I've been making a little bit less than that, but you know that that's pretty normal for me. Yeah, I'm in that range. Definitely in that range. So yeah. So if you think about it, that means they pull less power, but yeah, so I see what you're saying. So you're going to put either two 5090s or four 5060 Ti. So you're using the same motherboard. Interesting. It's an interesting idea. But now you said it was just the Arrow one though, right? So it's, oh yeah, this one. Oh, okay. Huh. I'm going to have to give this one some serious thought because I really think at 128 gig, that's kind of a steal. Now, the only problem is 128 gig enough for four 5060 Ti's or for two 5090s? Probably two 5090s it would be. Well, I guess. Yeah, I guess it would be. Never mind. Because it's still double the amount of VRAM that would be in either of those combinations. So Swamp 7, are you currently running four 5060 Ti's? Or are you not? Yes, Birds of the Air, yes. The 5060 Ti's are definitely slower, no question. And two of them put together will still run slower than a 5090. But you have to remember who is using, if somebody's really like, hey, I need to go balls out, that's where the 5090s kind of, and even the RTX 6000 is kind of running into an issue on some of these platforms, at least on Vast. I don't see it rented out anywhere near as much as I would have thought. And what it's renting out for is kind of honestly crazy. I'm like, okay, definitely not going down that road, at least not putting it on Vast. So let me bring this down to the RTX 6000 workstation. Okay, so this is for verified, and most things get verified on this. I mean, you can see that really high percentage being verified, but look, the demand is going down on these. Down. And only about 50% of them are rented. And where they're rented is like 70 cents. You're paying like somewhere in the range of at least $7,000 to $8,000, more than double a 5090, and you're barely making double what a 5090 is. It's just not. I mean, yes, from a power perspective, it's really good because you're making more using the same amount of power as a 5090. But yeah, and then like I said, trying to unload one of these when it kind of goes out of date is going to be a lot harder to sell than a 5090 will be to sell. You always have the gamers. The Asus TR50 has a bug, can't do bifurcation. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yes, but on H13 SSL with engineering sample CPU. What on H13 SSL with engineering sample CPU? Rizzo529, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, ARM not well supported for Docker. I mean, Docker works on ARM. Oh, I see what you're saying. The four 5060 Ti's are on H13 SSL with engineering sample CPU. Got it. But same idea. You have you can do bifurcation. I mean, I have the H12 SSL and I'm doing bifurcation on the slots as well for my 8 by 4090 rig. So definitely familiar on how to do that. in the BIOS. Obviously, I haven't done it on a gigabyte BIOS. That was a super micro BIOS, but yeah. So, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? There's so many things right now that I'm like trying to figure out. First of all, 3060s, dead to me. Which retro mic were here? Should have tagged him in the tweet. Because I know he'd shown some interest in my 3060s. Because I still have two EVGA 3060s that are the 2-fan version, the small ones, and he has a lot of like small builds. So I thought he might be interested in buying those. And then I have 1 gigabyte 3060, and I have this one that I need to fix again because one of the fans went bad again. And it's the other fan of the last one I replaced. So I got to go digging. I'm pretty sure I have the fan. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow as well. Trying to get a little organized. One of the things I did do this week, I'm not going to dox myself, but Goat has been enabled. Good to see you, sir. Birds on the air. I have a 4-card 5060 Ti on. Interesting. What, my 8-card 3060 machines are all rented. Yeah. I have two 3060s on Vast, and they are both rented. The problem is that I'm looking for more density. I'm not looking to really make things like, ideally I would like to do the 8 GPU big boy server, and that'll kind of be it for power, and then everything else is just going to be, you know, for basically same power, different GPUs to make more money, basically. So basically be upgrading to increase revenue and then sell those cards off. So that's kind of where I'm at with 3060s. By the way, right now, Salad 3060s not making a thing, and it's really kind of weird. In fact, do I have Salad up here? No, I don't. Let me, I'll just talk to it. Yeah, this will work. Let me drag this up here. So, these are my 3 rigs, and let me do a refresh on it. Yeah, so they're not doing so hot. But if you look at the Salad Network monitor, 3060 Ti says it's high. Well, I changed out one of mine to a 3060 Ti, and it initially started downloading a job, then wouldn't finish, then had a problem. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let me kind of restart the computer and then go back, and then it finally did pick up the job, and then that was it. And now it's not doing anything, but yet it says it's high. So I don't know what the hell is going on with the 3060 Ti, because 3060s are way down here now, and I'm making like a half a cent an hour on each of my 3060s. So it's one of those things where it's just not even worth my time anymore, unfortunately. At least not 3060s. Not Salad. I'm not saying Salad. I'm saying 3060s. So on, like I said, I do have the 2 that are rented out. I'm making about, and they're on the same unit, so it's currently making about $2 a day, a little bit more than that. Yeah. All right, let me catch up on chat here. Let's see. I have 100K imageable 4090s powering RPMs. No, okay. 4090s powering RPM's Noodle Factory. Alrighty. No news around the Super 24 gigabit cards. Last I had heard is that they will be announced at the consumer show in January. CES, and probably come out somewhere around March. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, okay, we have this bump in demand, grab one more 5090, grow a little bit more. It'll pick up demand. I'll probably put that one on salad because, man, it takes forever to get verified on Vast now. So that's kind of the long game, is to get it on Vast. Unless you are doing like 8 GPU rigs, the single game, it takes quite a while. The other thing, I know this to be a fact, but they kind of look the other way from time to time if you're close, and I'm close. But you have to have 500 gigabit symmetrical. That's in order to get verified. I know that they have verified people that are less than that. But that is the story from what I've heard. So I don't know if my one will ever get it until I get better internet. So I did actually. But I threw it out already. Did I? No, I didn't. Here it is. Got to make sure I don't show you my address. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to flip this part over, but it says, this is not an advertisement from T-Mobile. This is not a bill. T-Mobile fiber construction notice is what this part. And it's built by Lumos. So they are in the process of building out this area. But basically, this is what it is. Getting ready for gigabit fiber home internet done right. So they're sending it out. They're letting people know that there's going to be people in your neighborhood doing work. So, hell, I will give them a beer or whatever beverage of their choice when they come to do my house. Because, come on in, boys. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Not fair, you'll get fiber before me. Enable, you live way out in the boonies. You live in the boonies. Yusuf, well, it depends on what state and that type of thing. But yeah, it could be more profitable unless you get caught. Again, depending on the state. Yeah, trying to stay away from any project that is Windows only. I agree. Money's money, though. And I certainly do not like having to monitor my Windows salad rigs, especially with how little they make. Right now, it's more, that is definitely the hobby side of things. I just kind of have just keeping a foot in the water, basically, is all I'm doing with salad. I'm basically making next to nothing with them. I think last week I made like $4, something like that. Well, here, I'll go back to earn. Yeah, $4 and, well, I'll call it $4.80, $20 in the last 30 days. And it's been, well, here, actually, let me go to the graph. Let me go to 30 days. Let me do aggregate. And you can see there's a couple of bumps where there were decent days, but there's a lot of bad days in there. A lot of bad days. And these days that are better are going to be falling off. So it's probably going to be closer to like $10 to $15 a month, something like that. So maybe in a month or two, I'll be able to cash out again at 110. We'll see. We shall see. 3090s are dead in your opinion. Well, I can tell you that my 3090s on Vast have been just consistently rented. Consistently. Just double checking to make sure. Yep. Everything is rented except for one GPU on my Octo server. Don't know why that one isn't, but it is kind of nice. I've got on the 6 GPU, I've got one job taking 4 GPUs, which is really nice. Those tend to stick around. Not always, but they do tend to stick around as a long-term job. So it's really nice to know that 4 of those will probably be around for a while. Then by the way, I did have, so this week wasn't a great week. It wasn't a bad week. I basically have been somewhere between like $850 and $875 is where I've been weekly. This week was like $100 less than that. So not horrible. I'm not complaining, but the reason for that was my long-term job on the 8x4090 rig fell off. It didn't fall off because of anything I did. It just finally ended. But I was able to pick up another job and it's been running ever since. So fingers crossed that continues. But yeah, everything else is currently rented, including my 13090, which is right back there. I'll tell you a little story about that in a second. And then I have a 2x3090 rig on my T7810. I have like the power supply that is in the T7810. It's like 800 and some odd watts that'll power one. And then I have a separate power supply powering the other 3090. And that has been doing quite well. No complaints. Now, it does pull more power than 49, as far as it pulls more power per amount that it earns. Dollar per watt. It's lower dollar per watt, no question, but it's still making money. Maybe eventually I will replace those, but right now that's not at the top of my list as far as what I'm going to replace. Rizzo529 says my 3060 Ti is profiting 90 cents a day on salad. I say, why not run it? Well, I agree. I have it running on salad too, but it ain't making anything. It is nada. And I mean, I know it's on. I just checked it a little bit ago. I'll go into it again. So Modern Mining, and I don't know if this is true, but Modern Mining has stated that he believes that if you are in, like if you're doing a remote in via Google Remote desktop, or Chrome Remote Desktop, whatever you want to call it, that can throw it off. So I have not noticed that. But I was disconnected. I just went back into it to make sure it was still running. It is. So I'm going to click disconnect again. See, maybe prove it out. See if it picks up something. But right now, my salad rigs are doing nada, including the 3060 Ti that I just changed out today. And people are like, well, did you do all the things? Yeah, I did. I had to reset it up and everything when I put a new GPU in. So basically starting from scratch as far as setting it up. So yeah, I don't know. Rizzo529 says that might be true with Google Remote used locally VNC. Yeah, I could. I was trying to do that through, what's it called again? Guacamole. I did a video on that and it works great for SSH Linux. I can just be like, I want to go into that and it'll take me directly into it. I don't have to remember passwords or anything because I have that all set up through Guacamole that I have set up on my Unraid server. So I love that. I absolutely love that. It just makes it a lot easier. All right, let me see if you need a headless HDMI adapter to not throw it off. So Panda, you're telling me, so it's actually interesting you brought that up because this one, when for whatever reason, it doesn't, and I probably just need to go into the BIOS and change it. It's probably the reason why it wouldn't start. And so I actually connected into the HDMI on the, that's probably part of the reason. I need to disconnect that from the unit. Because right now I'm driving, well, I was driving a remote desktop, but I'm also driving a monitor with it. So that's not helping. Yeah, I need to go do that. Not right now, but eventually. Let me, where do I have? I gotta start writing these things down. So disconnect HDMI cable. All right, let me catch up on chat. I know I missed a few things here. Oh, I missed a lot. All right. Yes, I'm living in the dark ages. I won't be getting 1 gig. I'll be getting 2 gig fiber. Now, I could get 10 gig fiber, but that would cost me over $300 a month. So, don't think I need that yet, but I know I have that option. It's just going to take a long time to get that installed. All right, let me see. So, let's see. Kyle Cox, 3090s, 4090s, 5090s are all doing good, but you need pretty high-end PCs. You think? Even on Salad? I didn't think Salad cared too much. If you are doing it like with Vast or something a little bit higher end than, or more configurable, yeah, maybe. Panda's selling his 3090s. Crazy people are still paying over $800 on eBay. That is pretty crazy. Shoot, I could buy two 5060 Ti's for that. Bleach, I'm out of power. I'm not out of power. I have one more 30 amp circuit that I haven't even tapped into yet. So I still have a ways to go. And then once I do that, hopefully I'll get enough cash flow at that point from operations. Then maybe at that point, I'll decide to finally build a shed and move some of it out there. You know, the one thing, so Panda, I talked to you about this before. I need you to test out, just to plug that thing in. I want to know how bad how loud those fans are on that one chassis server case. I really need to know that, because somebody said it's just like, it's worse than an ASIC is what I was hearing. And I'm like, okay, well, if it's worse than the Octa server, that might be kind of a tough sell to run that in the basement, because the Octa server is kind of the limit. It's pretty much the limit. All right, let's see. Yeah, I've definitely... Oh, they're modding it to 96 gig for 4090s? I knew that they were modding it to 48. And now they're doing 96 gig. Holy cow. Rizzo529 says, I'm actually on 7.3 cents per kilowatt hour. That's nice. Talk about my power in a second, because, man, it is messed up right now. Swamp 7 EVGAs will sell no problem. Put them on your store for $1,000 each. That's what all mine are. Let me think. No. One of them is, two of them are EVGA. One of them is an FE. So yeah, both of those are probably wanted more than any of the others. Let's see here. All right. Sorry, I am trying to catch up here. Needs custom BIOS. Yeah, I heard that. You don't get better hash rate. You can load in larger LLM models, Yusuf. Let's see, Crypto MB. I never had any issues with Salad, but I'm using HDMI adapters. So, oh yeah, Swamp 7 just basically said that as far as the larger models. Lukewarm Mining, hello, sir. Did you miss anything? Anything fun? It's always fun. Rewind, man. Rewind. All right, let's see. Those 7U are loud, much more fans. Well, I mean, I'm sure, but it's more about the pitch than the volume. Are they going to be, you know, ASICs are such high-pitched fans. Yeah, the Octoserver is louder than ASICs. I definitely get that. The question is, how much louder is the one chassis going to be? Because then maybe I will just start doing like the 2 or doing like the 4 5060 Ti rigs maybe. I don't know. Down to 9%. I'm out of here. Oh, your phone. Well, good to see you, Bleach, if you're still here. Remington, yay, salad. Woohoo. Enable ask. What did he ask? How much for those 96? Oh, okay. No idea. Got it. 4 to 5. God, only $4,000 to $5,000 for a 96 gig version? I thought that'd be like what it'd be for the 48. Let's see. Still waiting for my BitX. Still waiting on my BitX from Panda. He's never gonna do another giveaway, like ever. I don't know. Put him on there and see if anybody does. And let everybody like totally criticize you for being like, yeah, you're trying to, you know, scalp the market, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I found more RAM equals more jobs with Salad. What I may end up doing, so what I have down in the basement with Salad is I have 3 rigs, 2 with a 3060, 1 with a 3060 Ti, but they are all different right now. So I have a 3060 that's a T7810 that has 64 gig of RAM, but it's on a 3060, so it's not getting anything. Then I have a 3060 Ti that is on a rig that has 32 gig. So I'm wondering if it went to 64, if it would be more likely to get a job, possibly. Doesn't say that on their thing. When we go to earn, you know, 3060 Ti says 500 gig storage, 32 gig system RAM. So you would think it would still be fine. All right, now having done that, let me go back to headshot. So, and then the last one only can have 32 gig of RAM because it only has 2 slots and it's an older motherboard. So, and that one has a 3060 in it. So what I'm kind of thinking is to test swapping the 3060 Ti and the 3060, putting that one in this T7810, see if it gets a job. If it does, reversing them back again and taking the 2 16 gig sticks and putting it in the Z270 board that I've got, and then just turn the other one off for now until I can decide what I'm going to do with it at that point. I don't know. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to do some experiments and see what works. If you get fiber, I'll chip in to get that 10 gigabit. I'm moving in. Hey, you know, rent ain't cheap here, man. Rent's not cheap. Not cheap. Anyway, Panda, did you ever get those Z9 minis for review long time ago? Depends on what you were doing. If you need IMMOU for VM working, worth having the 40 series. Yeah. I have not turned on the VM on Vast at this point. Still have the D9. 1,000 for 2? That sounds like a great deal. It does. For 2 3090s, that does sound like a great deal. So what's interesting is I did see somebody do like LLM tests on 5090 versus 4090, and the 5090 does have a significant margin of better performance than the 4090. But of course, only when you need over 24 gig. So yeah. And I think right now the sweet spot is 24 gig. Like the 20B model seems to be what is the most popular at this point. Yeah, I would love to try one for even lab or inference, just worried about the longevity of those cards, honestly. MRX 625, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We got 46 people in here. And then the question is, how many likes do we have? Because I ain't looking at that right now. Now I gotta look. Let's see. Because what I look at is I look at YouTube Studio. And it does not tell me that. Viewer activity? Nope. Stream settings. Yeah, it does not tell me that. It tells me chat rate, views, concurrent viewers, but does not tell me how many likes. I have to actually go on here and look myself up. Let's see. How many do I have? 24. 24. There's 46 people here. Come on, guys. 24. I'll like myself. There we go. Now we got 25. It's not exactly fair, but all right. Well, we'll leave that then. Well, actually, you know what? I'll bring this down here so that I can at least keep track of how many likes I'm getting. All right. Let's see. Kyle Cox, I'm running 128 gigabytes. Rarely have a job. Rarely have no job. That's good cause that's good because I'm broke now. 28. Well, thank you guys for chipping in. I hate asking, as Chump would say, and I miss Chump. But as Chump would say, I don't want to ask, but YouTube makes me, or something like that. MRX625 says, what to do? Do we hoster like nobody for them? It's not a good start to use their platform. I have the server running 4 to 5 days and still waiting for support from their host team. Are you talking about Vast MRX? Let me know which platform you're talking about. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, but please confirm. What about those Ryzen 395 with unified memory for lab? Looked into those at all? 128 gigabyte capable. Isn't that the NVIDIA like all-in-one type thing? Charles D, well, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Interesting. Yeah, and I believe you that you just subbed. I'm not saying that. But interesting. It doesn't show. I'll have to look into that. I will definitely have to look into that. That's not right. That's supposed to show all my new subscribers. And it should pop up on the screen. All right, let's see. Frogman, why not take a few days and list all your miscellaneous crap? Maybe you could make a crap ton to buy more GPUs. LOL, for real. You know what he could really do? Again, you know, that number of octominers, I mean, 47. I mean, who has 47? You know, 40 or 50. Either get rid of 7 of them or buy 3 more. I got 2 right behind me. I could ship in. You want them? Just pay shipping. Let's see. There's a thing called busy and procrastination. Yeah, I know. I hear you there. So one of the things actually, so I have been consuming a lot of, like, I don't want to say self-help content. It just kind of has, I've been consuming a lot of things that either are about improving yourself, or about learning things. So one of the things recently, it was just a short actually, and it talked about cognitive load. And when you are at your cognitive load, you're not good at anything. And I thought about that, and I'm like, there's a lot of sense now going back, like in my career when I was kicking ass, taking names, but I was always firefighting. I wasn't ever able to improve an operation. I was just always able to make sure the operation kept going, and I couldn't improve it because cognitive load. Once we got into a easier period, I was able to start making a lot of changes and really improve things. And that's when management noticed. And I'm like, I wasn't working as hard. It's just the fact that I didn't have that. I had headspace. I had a place to think where I could make improvements. And so when I saw this video, it made me think of that. And so it really started to make me think about like things like when I took, like way back when, right out of college, Motorola put people through like training as far as, you know, time. You know, how do you make use of your time? You know, keep track of your to-do list, all those things. Time management. That was what I was looking for. And you know, what they used to say was get it out of your head, get it on paper. Again, giving yourself headspace. So trying to get back to doing that. I'm also, I really respect what Hobbyist does. If anybody knows like how he runs what he does, he is very scheduled. He gets it out of his head and then he focuses on whatever he's focusing on at that time. Which it really makes a lot of sense. So I'm trying to do more of that by breaking things down and saying, what am I going to accomplish today after work? So one of the things I've been doing this week has been, I've been really trying to get to that point where solving problems, and it's not always problems for me. And sometimes work doesn't listen to my ideas. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to throw out there in the ether. So I've been posting on LinkedIn. I posted 3 days. I'm going to be posting 3 days a week on LinkedIn. It takes me like an hour to write the article. Obviously I'm using AI and then I'm editing it, but I'm coming up with the ideas. AI is also helping me come up with the ideas as well. Because I say, come up with like 20 ideas about this, or sorry, 10 ideas about this and 10 ideas about this. I look through them. It either hits something right on the head or it's close. And then I basically fine tune the idea and then ask it to write an article. And then I fine tune that. But like I said, it takes about an hour, and I've been posting that, like I said, 3 times a week. So hopefully that, you know, just like when you do that on YouTube, you get noticed. I'm hoping on LinkedIn that people are going to notice. A couple people have already noticed. Nobody in my company has noticed, which I'm really curious if they will. We'll see. And if they have noticed, the question is, are they going to say anything? We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see. Let me check. Go back to the chat. Critman Mining is here. Good to see you, sir. Do an auction stream. Could you imagine? 15, 15. Do I hear 20, 20, 20, 20? Ah, I hear 20, 25, 25, 25. All right, I got 25. Going once. Going twice. Sold for $25. Man, was that Canadian or US? All right, sorry, I gotta go back. I got behind chat. Let's see. And I appreciate you guys being interactive tonight. Let's see. IE GMK Tech Evo X2 AI. You can run 70B on those mini PCs. 5090 still eats it, but 5090 won't be able to load those models. True. There are definitely going to be some models that, yeah. But again, what this guy was running was he was running 43090s. So 43090s, 24 gig, it's going to be able to run those models. So, so it really depends on what you're comparing it to. Anytime you have a model that's going outside of the VRAM capacity of what you have, yeah, it's not gonna do anywhere near as good. That's for sure. Let's see. I have, you know, it's funny. There was something that I was reading about, And VLLM, I never heard about it until this past week. So I know it's something. I have not had a chance to dive into that yet, but that is definitely something I kind of want to just look at. I hope it, Charles D. I hope it's just on your end. Anybody else have lag? I hope not. I can chat, but not watch the video with my net off. Got it. All right. You know, you liked my auctioneer. My auctioneer is so bad. All right. Now let me catch back up. Can you do live ones on shop? I have no idea. That'd be interesting. My 3060 Ti is on 48 gig RAM and a Xeon E5 2650 V4. So mine's on a 2660 V3. And it's on 32. Well, wait a minute. I take that back. That's what my 3060 is on 64 gig of RAM and an E5 2660 V3. Yeah. So I was thinking about you when I was seeing. So, Diary of a CEO is a podcast. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. To me, it's fascinating. He's done a number of things on keto. I think that's probably how I found him in the first place. But he's done so many other things. He had some CIA agents on that was really, really fascinating. Yeah, it was really fascinating. I definitely suggest you go watch that one. Kind of scary. I shouldn't say scary, disturbing and sad. Anyway, yeah, go check them out. Diary of a CEO. They're like 2 hours long. Even better, go watch Diary of a CEO clips. Those are like 15 to 20 minute clips of his 2 hour long podcasts. I've been listening to his on the way to work because I got an hour to work and an hour back home from work. So that works. All right, let's see. I've tried doing scheduling. It just doesn't work for my ADHD OCD brain. Yeah, I hear you. You have to understand that anything, it requires a habit. That's the key. It requires a habit. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start doing this. And then you're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. You got to work at it. And believe me, I'm not there. I am definitely not there. It's one of the reasons why the job I'm in is good for me, because so much of it is what's being thrown at you at that particular time, and solving that problem. So, yeah. Anyway, it was actually kind of funny on Friday. Our normal guy that does FedEx, he normally prints things out on paper. And, so anyway, instead of printing them out on like a shipping label, a 4x6 shipping label. So since he wasn't there, the other people that were trying to do it were like, we should be able to print this out on a 4x6. And it wasn't. It was printing it out like super small on a 4x6. And if you tried to expand it or zoom out or something like that, it would still only print in that small little space. And that was because the PDF was coming up in Chrome. Now, what I find interesting is I said, well, let me just try it Edge. So I pulled up the PDF in Edge and it worked perfectly. So now we're able to do it in a roundabout way, but I found a way to do it. So they know me. They're like, oh, he'll figure it out. Like, yeah, it's kind of what I do. But what's weird is the fact that Edge is based on Chromium. So I was like, I'm going to try this. It probably won't work. And then maybe I'll try to see if I can do it on like Mozilla. But I never got that far because it worked in Chromium. So I don't know what the deal was with Adobe PDF in Chrome versus Edge, but at least we found a solution for the future. $5 super chat from Rizzo. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know why you gave me, because I got the flannel on tonight. It's beginning of flannel season, even though it's still pretty warm outside, but it's going to be colder tomorrow. It's not getting above 60 tomorrow. So yeah, it's the beginning of flannel season. It usually starts earlier than this, but didn't this year. So we'll Got a couple new flannels for this year. This one's from last year. If you guys have seen this one before, I really like this one though. Anyway, give Abe some love for the live stream. Salad is going to pay for this super. Cool. Again, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Scheduling has its faults. Well, obviously with kids, schedules always get broken, but that's okay. Then you just change your schedule. It's about, there's always going to be things that come up, always. But then you just look at your schedule and be like, okay, what am I going to change? And then you change it and you don't look back and you just focus on what you changed it to. It takes the stress out of it. Not, oh my God, I thought I was going to get this done and now I'm not going to get it done. It's just what it is. Sometimes I have to stay at work late. And when that happens, obviously I'm not going to get as much done at home. But what I have been doing in the past is, I'm staying for late. Well, why even get started? That's what I've been doing. I need to stop that. I need to break things down, do a little bit at a time, not stress out about it. Just be like, okay, let's just get this done tonight. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Bleach, I'm sitting here in the dark watching you guys chat with no power to mine or AI. Aw, that sucks. Yes, they are on PCIe 3.0 X8. You are very observant and they're doing pretty well. They're not making 16 cents, but they're still doing well. So yeah, obviously if I did the bifurcation and did the 4 on that motherboard, because that, honestly, because that means I can buy 4 5060 Ti's. 4 5060 Ti's for under $2,000. I have to really think about that. I got to see how many I can actually buy at once from Micro Center if they'll let me buy 4. All right. Frogman, no lag here. Did you just say Dahira? I don't even know what that is. If I did, I didn't mean to say it because I don't know what that is. 21%. I'm in sorry shape. Well, that's better than the 9% you had before. I thought you said you were at 9%. Oh, diary. Yes, diary. Diary. Not with an A at the end. Diary of a CEO. Diary of a CEO. Hopefully that clarifies it. Edge greater than IE8. Is it even a thing at this point? What do I got, Panda? I have like no memory brain right now. What did I say that you said I got this? Netscape greater. The makers of Netscape were from University of Illinois. Pretty much, I don't know if they were in my class or in the class before or after me, but they were right around that time period. And it wasn't Netscape, it was the one that was before that, I think. Anyway, when you print labels in custom sizes, always use Adobe Reader, never use a browser. I have tons of experience printing labels in custom sizes. Yeah, the problem is that we can't install things on our PC. And we don't have Adobe Reader on our machines because they're like, the browser's good enough. Yeah, it's really frustrating. Luciana Ruiz, hello, Max. Please recommend me a motherboard and EPIC processor. I have 4 4090s and 5 12 gigabyte DDR4 ECC. I mean, it all depends on how much you want to spend. Certainly an H12 SSL would work. You're gonna need to get host adapters because you're not gonna be able to put 4 in the slots unless you actually put water blocks on them. That would work. I know a guy that did that. I know a guy. So that's kind of the easy one to recommend, but you could certainly go to a newer motherboard like an H13 SSL. There's also another H12 like newer model. I can't remember what it is, what it's called. But yeah. The other thing you could do, I mean, you could do what I'm planning on doing and just do it bifurcate it and just do the 4090s by 8. And do it on a Threadripper. I don't know. There's lots of different options. So it all depends on your budget and, you know, what you're trying, what exactly you're trying to do. If you want, I'm going to plug myself for a second. Feel free to book a call if you want. Probably just a 30-minute call to kind of do something like that. Look, we're mining. Time to build some Mat X systems. Need to move everything out of the current office and make a new space since my son will be here in January. Nice. Hope your wife is doing well. Let's see. For 4 GPU, your best motherboard is an MZ32AR0. What the hell is that? I have never heard of that. I'm going to look that up. MZ32-AR0. It's a gigabyte. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I mean, that looks a lot like, set up a little bit differently, but it looks a lot like a an H12 SSL. And obviously with the one that the H12 SSL, you can actually put GPUs in these slots. Obviously with the memory there, you're not going to be able to put the GPU in those slots. It's just not going to work. But if you're using host adapters anyway, it doesn't really matter. Then you could still just use the host adapters in there and then have the SlimSAS cables coming off of it, and you mount the GPUs, you know, nearby. However you want to do that. So yeah, this is definitely an option. I'm assuming it has an IPMI. It says 2 1 gig. No, it doesn't look like it has unless this is an IPMI. Hold on. Let me see. No, that looks like VGA. Here we go. Yeah, those are like a serial port and a VGA port. So, oh no, there it is. There's the IPMI and then the 2 1 gig. So, yeah, that's the one thing. I don't know if I'd ever want to get another board without IPMI. It's interesting they don't mention it. They just mention the 2 1 gig LAN ports. Oh, wait a minute. This actually has SlimSAS connectors. Oh, but only 2. Yeah, it only has 2. I was like, well, if you have, and that's only 8 by, and that one specifically, it looks like 4 SATA. Anyway, I was thinking that maybe you could reuse those for GPUs, but I don't know if you can. I'm not familiar with this board enough to do that. Plus, you still don't have enough. You have 4 by SlimSAS connectors, which are 4 by Gen 4, so you wouldn't want to do 4 lanes. And then you have 2 that are 8 lanes. Yeah, this is what you'd want to use. The 5 by Gen 4 by 16. These 5 right here. Yep. Anyway, all right. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it. All right, I got behind. I like to leave everything at night, LOL. There are plenty to go around. Oh, the 5060 Ti's. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think they'd have a problem with it. I just don't know like what their stock is like. I didn't look at that today. I can look at that in a second and see. Yeah, were you? All right, I don't even know what he meant there. I was thinking of selling all my 3060s and put 8 5060 Ti's on my server. It's only 3.0 though. Yeah. I don't know how much that affects things. Because I don't know if I don't think I'm saturating the PCIe lanes. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's a good question. I did it because that's what I had and I knew I wanted to replace some things. So I did. Let's see. Crootman says, I was debating water blocking an AI rig for shits and giggles one day. Yeah, I know that Swamp 7 did that. That's who did it. Jackson Digital, good to see you. Hey man, thanks for the show. Have some rigs on Okta getting rented for Jensen nodes. Nice. So are they getting more activity too? I hadn't looked at any of the other things at this point. I do not know anything about that project. Pretty sweet rentals, low power, little bit of GPU usage. Yeah, it's a lot of the nodes are like that. Honestly, most of the stuff I'm getting rented for now on Vast is lower power. When I know I've got a mining job, I know I'm like in the upper 70s on my 4090s, and I'm just not there anymore. I don't even think about, I shouldn't say I don't even think about it. Occasionally I will turn my power down when I start seeing ADC on my 4090s. I will do that, but it's been a while. And now, heck, we're heading to winter, so everything's going to run cooler and it'll help heat my house at that point. H14 SSL. Did I say H14? Is there an H14? I know there's an H13 SSL. So wait a minute, what are you going to do, Panda? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Do what? Not going to go out and buy... Oh, you're going to do the 5060 Ti's instead? Is that what you're saying? What a cop-out. What a cop-out. What you should do at this point, if you're really serious about doing... Well, I mean, I guess you could do that, because then what you're really going to want to do is then reinvest again in March and get 8 5070 Ti's. That'll be the way to go. That's kind of what I'm waiting for before I think about doing that 8 GPU rig. Rizzo529 says, good play then. If your PDF doesn't print correctly in a certain browser, always test in another browser. Yeah. Well, how far behind am I? Oh, cheaper than Supermicro, and you can do a full 4. Yeah, full. Yeah, I mean, you could do that on H12 as well. Do full 4. You can't do full 8, but you can do a full 4 by 16 lanes on that. I mean, that's what the CPU provides. Yeah, 16. Oh, is that more DIMM slots than? I'm trying to remember how many DIMM slots mine has. Let's see. Swap 7. Stop being a cheap ass and buy the 5090s already. Let me borrow 25K. It's not 25. Oh, 25K Canadian, you mean? I mean, I'm buying, if I buy this one, it's $22.59 or $22.49 is how much it is. Plus 5% off of that because I'm buying it on, but that's the reason I can only buy one at a time if I'm buying 5090s. Sunflower Mama is in the chat. She's in the house somewhere. She's just not in here. All right, let's see. Can do 25% interest. Hey, Panda, I have already said what I'd be willing to do. I don't want to hear you crying about the fact that you can't afford 5090s. I already said what I would do. Split the profits with you. Just saying. Yeah, sorry, man. That sucks. Hope you get your power back soon. And Toyota's collateral. Hey, then he can't make other content. Right now, I bet Panda's out there making content, and he's just gonna like blast it all out at once. By the way, that is a strategy when you're starting a new channel, is to have like 3 or 4 videos and launch them all at once, and they end up like driving views to each other. And so it's a really good way to get a lot of views like all of a sudden, like when you first start a channel. All right, let's see. Might Tacoma stay with me forever. All right, I'm trying to catch up here. Yeah, if you just sell all the junk, you could buy 5090s. The thing is that like I think DJ really made a good case for this, in the fact that you can't just sell all your stuff. Nobody wants it. You know, some of the stuff, yes, but like nobody wants Octo servers, or not Octo servers, Octo miners. What's so good about the 5070 Ti? So I'm talking about the 5070 Ti Super. That's the one. And it's not out yet. It's coming out in March, and it will have 24 gig of VRAM. That's what's going to be really cool, because 5070 Ti will probably be pretty close to a 4090, maybe 90% of a 4090 is kind of what I'm thinking, maybe 80%, and be less than half the price of a 4090. So that will be game changing when it comes to rolling these things out. So maybe you'll only make, you know, 20, 22 cents an hour on these things, but because you're spending so much less, it's going to be game changing from a profitability standpoint. That's what I think. So I really want to kind of go all in on that when it happens. Yeah, Enable already was saying basically the same thing. Looks like you have very good experience with renting GPU on Vast. Can you create a setup guide for us when you have the time? There is already a really, really good setup guide. Let me post the link. This guy is amazing. It still works. I have continued to set it up with this. All right, I just posted the link. So if you do want it, follow that to the T, and it works. Now, couple of things. Do not do the VM. It's not worth it. Especially if you have Blackwell GPUs, it's just going to create problems. And just do it on a single. I guess the only thing that isn't on there is how to install Ubuntu. And King had gone over this. I actually have a short that I did where I went through the install. Basically, the key thing is you make a partition of 50 gig for Ubuntu and leave the rest unallocated on the disk, because Vast will use that unallocated space, and that's the space it's going to use. It will create it from that space. If you don't do that, then it does this weird thing, and it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So that is what has worked for me. But like I said, I do have a video, shorts video on that. Should be pretty easy to find, but it's Ubuntu setup, or Ubuntu install for Vast. Something, it's like, that's like the title of it. I wasn't looking for views. I was just looking to get the information out there. I tried to make it as quickly as possible so people could just get the information. And then, like I said, and then just follow that link that I just gave you, and you should be good there. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on in Discord on my channel in Misfit Mining. All right, let me. All right, so that was that. Motherboards. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only thing you're going to have value of, that's for sure. You have no idea when it's coming out. Oh, come on, please. It's... I don't know. I'm thinking March. That's what would make the most sense. If you look at history, unless they are having trouble getting parts. I always thought when they said, oh, they're going to have it out before Christmas. I'm like, really? That makes no sense. And I think the only reason why they said that was because they were starting to lower prices earlier. I had to sell my mining motherboards for $17. LOL. Well, that's something. Use a HELOC to go all in. I'm not going to use a HELOC. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? There's no buyers for this stuff. There just isn't. You're welcome, MRX. Digital Jackson says, or Jackson Digital says, I know what you mean by nobody wants used gear that everyone else is trying to dump. As a photographer, I did a little photo shoot with each GPU I'm selling. I mean, GPUs definitely you can sell. I am keeping one 1660 Ti as just one that I can put in if I need a GPU. Although that's becoming less and less necessary. And then I just have a few extra that are not doing anything right now, like 3060s. I said I had 3 3060s that aren't doing anything right now. So, yeah, I got to do something with those. It's not even $2, I know. Does it tell you how to partition? Yes, it like literally shows you when you're installing Ubuntu 22.04. It takes you through the screens. So it'll show you where on the screen what to put in. So it goes through that. Dude, that's wild. I literally sold Octominers for $250 each. I would take $250 each on mine at this point. I definitely would. This is outdated, doesn't work with VM. Well, again, I have heard if you have Blackwell series, you do not want to do VM. And people, I've been on the Vast Discord and nobody has told me that when I've asked that it's making more having VM available. I have not seen that. And there's a risk. You're giving people more access to your machine. So it's kind of, yes, I have it on its own subnet, all that kind of stuff. So I am somewhat protected, but kind of like Docker. Now, that may be changing and maybe I'll be forced to, but at this point, I am not, whenever I load one of these up, I'm not loading it to have VM. That feature, I'm not having it enabled. I'm not local or might have got it. Oh, I see. You're not local to DJ. Got it. You're in Indiana. The place with a real football team and it ain't Notre Dame. Yes, Sunflower Mom is actually in the building, just not in the room. You just bought 20 Octominers for $150 each? Do you want 2 more? What are you buying Octominers for? Are you changing them into... You have got to share with me, dude. You got to share with me. How are you turning these into AI machines? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. You and mine some 10 are holding back. You're holding back. Found some people that drove to you. Nice. What's my account name on LinkedIn? Let's get connected. Yeah, I keep those two things separate. Got an email from someone who wanted to rent my 100-ish 170HXs for 6 months for a compute job. Okay, hold on. How much? Okay, you have 100, let's just say 170 HXs. How much power do they pull? Well, I guess I could look it up. Let me, 170HX GPU TDP. And they won't pull full TDP. Let's see, 250, that's a weird way to say it, 250 watts. 200 to, average is 200 to 205. let's just say 200. That's probably kind of where they'd be at. So 200 watts times 100. So that's 20,000 watts. And your power rate. So it's 20 kilowatts an hour. Times you're at 0.08. So that's 1.6 an hour. Was that 30 to 40K Canadian or American? I mean, I'm going to assume American at this point. So 1.6 for 6 months. So times 30 times 60. So it's $3,000. Yes, I would do that. I would totally do that. How is he going to do the compute job with them in an octominer? Like, so they only need one lane? Or are you going to have to put it in something different? But yeah, I would totally do that. Where your power is only 10% of your cost, or what your revenue? Hell yeah, I would do that. In a heartbeat. How are you going to make anywhere close to that in mining? Totally would do that. I should have made you make a meeting with me. Giving out free consulting advice. Just kidding. This is not a Pokemon channel. I'm glad you found something else to be passionate about, DJ. Let's see. You have to list them on all platforms. Let's see. EV is pretty cool. I heard something about that. I'm not sure what exactly that is. Oh, gosh. I was way behind. Hold on. All right, there we go. John Germain, welcome. Welcome. When installing a Bluetooth server, create the boot partition by selecting the M.2 or other disk, then make an Ubuntu partition by selecting 64 gigabyte or less in type, other than create a third partition. That just watch the video. He's not wrong. It's just I'm not sure. That might confuse him. But hey, if you understand it, great. Let's see. Pokemon Classic is where it's at. 13 of them. LOL. 13 of what? Oh, 13 octominers of 170HXs. Oh, really? There's a brand new competitor for $125 now? Damn. About 3 years. Oh, EV Evolution's purse for like. Okay, so EV, I'm guessing, is some type of card game or something like that. VM makes more. 4070s make 15 cents per hour per VM enabled. Interesting. Yeah, I asked about it in there, and the one guy, Illumination or something, I can't remember what his name exactly is, but I think you know what I'm talking about. He had said it wasn't worth it. It was still glitchy and all that kind of stuff. So he says, you know, I'm not finding I'm making any more. But that was probably like 3 or 4 months ago. Whatever you do, don't tell RPM. I know. I don't tell him anything. I'm still conversion mining and trading BC2. Hey, if that works. Yeah, 170HX is basically an A100, I believe. American. Yeah, I totally do it, dude. Totally. Apparently, only need one lane. Holy crap. Huh. That, but if they needs that many, I mean, I'd really love to see like how he's setting it up. All right, I'm trying to get through all these. So I'm just like scanning. And I'm passing over all the Hashcat stuff. You're on a typing crusade. Honestly, Pog Jesus, I would go to hash rate dot no, plug in whatever GPU you've got and see what's most profitable, and or pick something near the top and start learning. But remember, make sure obviously you put in whatever AMD cards you've got. Let's see. MRX 625. Max, have you tried to list a server, but you're getting an error when you're setting up your prices on Vast GUI and it can't save your settings? I know I've had that happen once. I think I just rebooted and then it was fine. But I don't recall. Sometimes when something like that happens, it's better just to start over. You don't have any like time into getting your reliability score up or anything like that. It's better just to start over. But again, make sure that you set your ports. You got to make sure you set your ports. Yeah, exactly. With 100 HX170s, it could be making easy 1 to 2 BTC per year. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly you don't necessarily have to jump at that one deal, but dude, I mean, it's, yeah. Oh, there, one of our leads at work, his name is Jesus. Literally, that's what he is Jesus. So yeah, that's when I saw that. That's why I read that initially without even thinking about it. Okay, I'm caught up for the most part. All right, let me go and actually look at the things I was going to talk about because I put them in my description, but I don't have it in front of me. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Control-Shift-T. The best shortcut ever made. Control-Shift-T gets you your tab back that you just closed out. I'm trying to close out my groups so that I have more room on here. Actually, one of the things I did want to do, actually, let me go back up here. Still debating on that Threadripper. I'm really seriously thinking about doing that. Oh, the 5060 Ti. 16 gigabyte. No 8 gigabyte. Yeah, I remember getting these. Oh, open box for $475. Yeah, these have gone up. 2 in stock, 15 in stock of this one. Oh, okay, that's because it's this one. This is still 16, right? Yeah, I don't need the, what is the difference? 2x plus overclocked? 2x overclocked? Yeah, nothing great. But this one only has 2 in stock. This one has 15 in stock. That's telling you something. So there isn't that much here. Let me check Best Buy down here. Man, I'll tell you what, trying to do the bifurcated and doing that, and trying to get stuff from C-Pain, Hobbyist had all kinds of problems with tariffs. He got the tariff rate down, but it was a struggle. And so that's what makes me nervous about going with anything like that instead of going straight into the slot. All right, let me do 5060 Ti. 16 gigabyte. $5060. Yeah, 16. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, see that. The PNY at Best Buy is only $430, but that thing's a piece of crap. Really bad. There is an open box. Oh, it says unavailable. There's an open box for like $406. That would be pretty nice. And the other thing, I'm really trying to stay away from Gigabyte. You guys have ever had a Gigabyte card and you mount them vertically? At some point, you start getting this like goo coming out the bottom. Well, Jay's 2 Cents just did a video on that. Yeah, it's because of the thermal putty or whatever they call it that they use, and it eventually oozes. If you have it horizontally mounted, it's not a big deal because it's not, gravity's not going to have an effect. So I try to stay away from Gigabyte cards for that reason. Asus Dual for $479. That's not really any different than, it's a little bit different. That probably would work. I could do a couple of Asus Duals. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I have not seen the Cloudflare keygen setup. I have not seen that. Good morning, Moria. Yeah, it would be morning where you are. All right, what I really wanted to do was to go into my video description. Actually, I probably, here, I'm going to switch it back to my face. And I think it was right there. No, it wasn't, but that's right. I should be able to go to live. Click here. Go to more. Okay. So, talked about that. Well, so a couple of things for the winter. So right now, the way I have things set up in the basement is that I have the dual outlet fans, and I have two, and then they're like mounted into the window of the window well. So they like really well sealed, all that. And then I have two open windows with box fans. One's a really good box fan, one's a not so good box fan, but they're box fans. So I've got almost equal being pulled in as going out. The problem is going out, there's no screen because it's just blowing the air out, and then it has the shutters that close when they turn off. But the inlets have screens. So sometimes it pulls more air from upstairs. Anyway, what I'm trying to do as we go in winter, because I just have those fans on, the inlet fans on. And when it gets cold, I don't want the inlet fans just to stay on. So I need to have some type of control of them. So I'm actually kind of thinking about replacing all of the fan controllers so that they can all be controlled remotely. Right now, I don't have them so that they can be controlled remotely. I have to actually change the settings, but depending on the temperature is going to, on the outside temperature will depend on how hot I'm willing to let the hot aisle, the space between the back of the rack and the window, how hot I'm willing to let that get. So, and then the other part of it is if it's really cold outside, I don't need to be pulling in air. The outlet fan can just suck in as much air as it needs to cool off the area, and that'll be plenty. And it'll probably only be using one of the two fans during the winter off and on. So anyway, bottom line is I'm debating how many of those Wi-Fi switches, plug switches to get. Obviously no more than 4, that would be all I would need. So I may end up doing 4 of those. I know I at least want to do 1. So I'll probably start with 1, make sure that that works. I'm kind of thinking at least 2 and maybe 3, probably not the 4th, because when it gets that cold, I'm going to shut the other window. I won't need that other window. So the way the basement is set up, the one that's furthest away is directly under the kitchen sink. So when it pulls cold air in, it's going to be affecting anything around there, pipes, whatever. So I always worry that I might get like a frozen pipe or something like that. It hasn't happened yet, but I worry about that a little bit. With where the other one is, it's actually under the family room, and under the family room is insulated because that was where the TV area was in the basement that the kids would use, or we would use for movies, so that we would make sure it would be insulated from anybody who might be in the family room. So there's actually insulation in the ceiling. So if I'm pulling air in there, it's not necessarily going to make the floor above it cold. So I'm thinking I'll just leave that one open and leave that fan in there, and then depending on the temperature, have it turn on and off as needed. So like I said, now it's just a question of, do I want to go all out and get 3 or 4 so that I can control them all remotely, or just get one? So I'll probably start with one just to make sure it works good, and then probably replace the other 2 for the outlet fan. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. Anyway, so I do need to go through that. And I may go back and move the NAS back into the other side of the basement, but probably won't do that. I'll probably just leave it where it is. I was debating on that as well. All right. And then, render. So oh, hold on. Let me, back up, go back to the chat. I'm trying to be better about going to the chat. Let's see. All right. We said that already. Did that. Are these AC Infinity fans? No, they're like Gable fans, but they're living well or something like that. They're relatively cheap, but they work well. I have had one running consistently, and it's been working well. Now, I shouldn't say that. So when I changed the window well, I just got 2 new fans because I wanted to have a backup anyway. And so I just decided we'll just leave that one in there so that if one of those 2 fans ends up going bad, we can just quickly take that out, put the other one in. We'll still have airflow in the basement while we, do surgery on the other one if one of the fans breaks. So that's what I did at this point. So I've got 2 that can interchange, a 1 fan version and a 2 fan version. So the 2 fan version, they're both new. But the other one had been running almost consistently for a year and a half. So, and I don't think these are meant to be like 100% like cycle, on all the time, but it's done well. I got no complaints. All right, let me, you guys are still talking about Hashcat. Mike from GPU Risers told me people were renting his machines on Vast, pointing to Bitcoin Challenge running Hashcat. But yeah, there were points where most of what I had running was Hashcat. So yeah, sometimes it is definitely Hashcat. I don't think I have anything running that right now because Hashcat is like, they use 100% of your power. So yeah, it uses a lot. Okay, I'm going to figure this out and get this Bitcoin. If you don't see me upload videos, it's because I hit the jackpot. So he's gonna steal Bitcoin from somebody. Okay, cool. That way all the octominers can share the workload, not working on the same hash. Got it. All right. So render. So I'm really kind of debating on what to do. I got on the render network. It's on their compute node. They guarantee 6 render per epoch, which is basically a week. And a 20 render bonus. So far, I've seen 6. and the 20 bonus, and I'm owed 24. And then I haven't been paid out the 24 yet. So 6 render, right now 6 renders worth $15 a week for 5090. That's like, I mean, on the lowest end, that's like 2 days, 2.5 days on any other platform. Now, before I was kind of like, well, my 5090s haven't really been rented on Vast, so sure, let's give render a shot. So now they are. So now I got to think about what I'm going to do with that. I still want to get that 24 that I'm owed. I actually asked a question in the render Discord channel. And what did they ever say anything? Let me see. I gotta go down to the bottom and see. Where is it? I know I asked it. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, that's the disk allocation question. Oh, no, they haven't gotten back to me. I basically said, what was the last epoch that was paid out? Epoch 7 or 8. Because I'm supposed to get paid that 24 in Epoch 8. Or at the end of Epoch 8. And I thought that was this past Wednesday, but I didn't see it, so... not sure. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see, but that's the update there. Now, wanted to... let me check the chat real quick. Are you guys still talking about Hashcat? Max, no, those wallets were created by Satoshi that gauge computer power over the years. 100% legal. Got it. Oh, this is part of Bitcoin challenge. Oh, okay. Got it. Understood. But no guarantee either that you're going to get anything from it. All right. So this past week was really interesting. So I found out that some idiot at ComEd took me off the hourly pricing program. Nobody could explain why. They're like, yeah, somebody did. We'll get you back on. Probably take 2 months. Maybe more. Like, really? Are you kidding me? So I haven't gotten a bill for the last 2 months. What happens when you guys hit me with like a $1,500 bill or a $2,000 bill? That shouldn't be that much. They're like, yeah, just call us. We'll, make what you think it would have been, make some type of effort, or just say you're not going to pay until you get this clarified. So, I mean, they were very upfront. They're like, you can request that. He's like, I mean, they were very upfront. Like, it all depends on who you get on the phone, but it's reasonable. We screwed up. So there are so many things wrong with my account right now. I haven't seen a bill where they've changed my transmission rate and lowered it by that 3.1 cents. And now they screwed up my hourly rate, and now they're struggling to put it back. On top of that, I called my community solar and said, what the heck? You haven't sent me a bill either. What's going on? And they're like, well, we can't send you a bill until ComEd tells us how much they've given you credit for. And I'm like, well, they've given me credit on my August bill, so they should be able to tell you that at least. He's like, well, they haven't. And until they tell us, I'm like, I'd be happy to send you my bill. You guys should get paid. And they're like, it doesn't work that way. I appreciate it, but it doesn't work that way. We just have to wait. Like, all right, you just have to understand that my bill is like really messed up right now. And I don't know when they're going to actually respond to you. So right now, I have not paid for about $650 or so of power through August 15th. And then I haven't paid for a lick of power since I was billed on August 15th. For 2 months, I have not been billed for anything. I do know that, as I asked ComEd, I'm like, have I gotten a credit for community solar in September? And they said yes, for $512. I'm like, cool. So ComEd's still getting money on my account, but the community solar is not getting any of my money because ComEd's not providing the information to the community solar. Yeah. Anyway, I know I'm going to be happy once all of this is straightened out that I went through all this trouble, but right now, damn, this should not be this difficult. It really should not be this difficult. I can't even call the consumer group. I get pushed around to business or green something because I have solar panels. There's another group that I get pushed to sometimes. It's weird. Business evidently handles more of the hourly stuff, and I have solar panels, so I get shoved that direction. So it's all a mess. Yeah. So anyway, that's the latest of that saga. Swamp 7, just go 100% off grid. I don't have enough space in my backyard to do that. Well, maybe I have enough space. But no, I'm not going 100% off grid. I have to get batteries. I have thought about getting batteries, but only more than anything for backup. Oh, one more thing. This actually was 2 days ago. No, it was Friday morning, yesterday morning. Woke up. I always check my rig, so going to vast, see if there's any issues. My 3090's down. That whole server's down, and that server's been down before. That motherboard, I think, is starting to die. So I just have to be prepared for that. But yeah, my Flux node was down. My Neoxa node was down. I know, oh my God, my Neoxa node was down. And my Vast 3090 was down. But thankfully, it was only down for about an hour. It went down about 5:30. I got it back up about 6:30. So I didn't get put to the end of the line. It's a Nimbus node. You only lose like 2 days anyway, at the worst case. So not that big of a deal anyway. But yeah, I was able to catch it in time, which was good. Literally just in time. It was about ready to switch over because it has 4 hour check times. And at that check time, if it's not live, you get shoved to the end of the line. So I barely made it. So, but anyway, that's what was going on there. Let me get out of this. Yeah, and I guess that was it. All right, let me go back to the chat. Wow, I'm going for 2 hours. 2 hours. I can never underestimate the stupidity of hourly employees. You know what? It's not about the stupidity. It's about they just don't care. They don't care. I had the first 2 phone calls I made on that particular day where I was trying to get things back, or at least figure out what was going to happen in order to try to get hourly back. The first 2 people did not care. They were like, hang on, let me put you on hold for a minute. And then all of a sudden I was transferred. They didn't want to have anything to do with me. They just transferred me. It's a difficult call. I'm going to pawn this off on somebody else. It was very frustrating. I hate it when that happens. But yeah, it's, they just don't care. They literally don't care. They have the ability. They don't care. Max, just switch your name to Yusuf. They'll never know. I did not say I've got free power because they're going to come after me for all that is accumulating at this point. But I could always create a payment plan after that if I wanted to. I mean, I've got the money. It's not like I'm not putting the money aside, but oh, I do like, this is one of my new mugs. I'm often mistaken for an adult because of my age. I've changed my name so much I don't remember my real name. Yeah, sure. Yes, and now Vast won't let us retrieve our old IDs. Yeah, no more can you move a machine ID from one machine to another. Yeah, and they're not telling us how you can still do that. I know there's got to be a way to move. Probably what you would need to do is do a backup. I haven't tried it, but do a backup of your VM, your machine, whatever. And then if you needed to reload it, just reload it from the backup. So that's what I'm thinking would work. I'm not switching my name. I don't need to switch my name. Let it go, Yusuf. Let it go. Let it go. All right. Wow, 49 people here. What was my max? 64 people were here at one point. Wow, I missed that. Totally missed that. Is Hawk not live tonight? That's got to be the case. That's got to be the case. But yeah, I'm running out of things to talk about, people. So I mean, I'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we can call it a night. Trying to think of what else went on this week and what else I need to do. There were a couple of things I know I was going to do in the basement. Now I can't remember what it was. I did actually try to install NA10 on my Unraid server, and I screwed it up because I didn't follow instructions. Always helps to follow instructions. So I am going to do another try on that with the network chuck instructions. I got to figure out how I can use my maxvoltage.tech domain and then create a subdomain that I can use. So I got to figure out how to do that with my domain provider, and then I should be able to do what I want to do. One other thing I did do though this week. So one of the things that is very difficult in, managing a warehouse, supervisor, manager, GM, whatever, is you want to spend a lot of time out on the floor. You want to check things, be watching things. But you got to watch your emails because there's always emails coming in. So I was getting kind of frustrated with this because, I mean, this is no different than any other company. They're like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then they're conflicting things. Like, well, do you want me to be out on the floor doing things out on the floor? Because if I'm out on the floor, I'm not watching my email. I can watch my chat, but watching my email, and even the chat is somewhat difficult. Anyway, bottom line is I said, I'm trying to create a digest of my important emails. And I did that actually on Friday. Started creating this through a Google app script. Used ChatGPT to do it. It actually came out really well. I am going to take out the important part. Right now, Google thinks it knows what's important, except it doesn't know. And right now, until I train it, I'm going to take the important part out so that I can see all of things. So like when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do, because the warehouse is already started by the time I wake up. Not usually for very long. I wake up about 6:15. They start at 6. But I look. It would be great if I had a digest at that point where I could just look through all the emails that were from late last night after I left, and anything that would be that morning, and just look through them real quick. So if there was anything that needed to be addressed right away, I'd be able to do that. So I'm going to test that. And then I know I showed a couple of my supervisors it, and they were like, that's cool. I would love that. I'm like, I can set it up for you. So I'm hoping that it'll help them become a little bit more efficient and be less worried about missing an email. Certain emails, if they get missed, mistakes happen. Just does. It's, you know, it's what happens. So, yeah. So I'm working on that as well. I'm trying to find different ways I can just implement automation in the simplest ways at work to make not just my life easier, but other workers' lives easier at work. Rizzo529. I'm eating fried chicken and trading BC2. My fingers are greasy. From the BC2 or from the chicken? I did cheat. I did cheat tonight. I had pizza. I don't regret it for a minute. It was so good. It was so good. So I have, speaking of diet, because, you know, I talk about that all the time, but I'm basically withdrawing. I used to eat a lot of cashews. That was like my dessert type thing. I'm withdrawing that because as far as nuts go, they're kind of one of the worst ones. So I've gone to pecans and almonds, which are much, much higher in fiber. And so I've started eating those instead. And hopefully we'll be able to lose some more weight. Right now, I've not been losing weight. Gained like 2 pounds in like the last 4 weeks. Nothing dramatic. But yeah, I need to get back to it at some point. Like really get serious about it. Cashews are good. Yes, they are. Like I said, they were like a dessert to me. It was certainly better than eating a sugary thing, which I'm just going to be like, I want more. I want more. At least the cashews were satiating. Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken is good pretty much everywhere. Well, okay. Honey roasted cashews are really awesome. Except I can't have those. Those have sugar on them. So all the nuts I'm having are salted. That's it. Nothing else. In fact, the pecans that I have are not, they're just plain. They're not even salted. So, and the almonds I have currently are low salt, which I'm like, no. Give me the full salt on those. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I am going to call it a night. Appreciate you guys all being here. It's good to see a better, larger crew here. I almost said better. That was a wrong word to use. A larger crew here. Appreciate all you guys participating. Makes it a lot more fun, hopefully for everybody. And I'll be back here next Saturday. Next Saturday's in question. Keep your eye out. I may not be able to do 8 p.m. My daughter has a concert on Saturday, and then we take her out to dinner. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be home. We'll see. It's probably going to be somewhat of a last minute decision, but I will, as soon as I know like what the schedule is and what I'm going to decide, I might decide to do like afternoon. I might check with Rabbit. I might go on like after Panda on Sunday possibly. Or if maybe it's a Sunday that Panda's not doing. Because Panda, are you doing Sundays again tomorrow? Is he still here? Not sure he's still here. Might still be here. He was here. Well, he was here 20 minutes ago, and he hasn't said anything since. So he's probably not still here. I'll have to check with him see if he'll actually respond to my DM. I know he gets a ton of DMs. But we'll see. We'll figure it out during the week. I'll figure out what the schedule is, and I will let you all know when I'm going live next Saturday. Alrighty, guys. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate it. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Have a good one, everybody.